Okay, hello and welcome back to another episode of All the Mods 10. So, in this episode, we're going to be going into a little bit more stuff, namely being the actual, power mod stuff. So, over the last episode, I have been working on and taking care of quite a few different things, namely being moving all of our previous stuff into our ME system. That's not really an ME system because it's just barrels, but all of these have two netherite stack upgrades, which means that we are hardly even using a quarter of our space, even with several 100,000 items in here, probably close to 1,000,000 items at this point. And overall, I've just been working my way through these budding Certus Quartz guys, but also taking care of all that stuff. And now we need to actually get into power, because I want to make sure that we're never, ever, possibly ever going to run out of energy, and it's almost day 100, so just taking care of some base things, It's probably a good idea. So what we need to actually do for these is we need to get energized steel, which is what we need for the next tier, which is hardened. Energized steel you get by energizing iron and gold, which takes 10k Fe, but that's not a crazy amount. But for that, we also need a bunch of other stuff. So, namely being, we're going to need a little bit of power, which means I should probably get a little bit more lapis in order to get a little bit more of these photoelectric panes, because the photoelectric panes are going to be a little bit difficult. So we're going to need some glass to craft up some more glass panes in order to actually make ourselves make ourselves a couple more of the photoelectric panes, because you need 3 starter solar panels per singular basic solar panel, which we're going to need several of because you need 3 of them per hardened, which is what we need the energized steel for. So we're also going to need a bunch of iron and gold. Gold, we'll grab 2 stacks. Iron, we'll grab 2 stacks. And then what we'll also do is go at again, and what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna turn off syncing with JEI because it's being a little bit annoying. Anyway, we're gonna get to day 98 here right now, and then we'll be able to continue along and preferably take care of the rest of these Certus Quartz clusters and get through all of this, but also energizing orb will go right here. What we'll do is we'll chuck in some of you guys. I think we can do multiple at a time. So okay, we'll take out, so 1 2 1 2 1 2. There we go. I think you can get 6 in max. And what we need to do is have all these energizing rods point towards you guys. So what I think we're gonna do is first get rid of all these dumb fools, because there's no reason for us to be having to deal with slimes right now. And then we're gonna put the rods. The rods go on the energy cells, so, or the energy cables rather. And we can fly. I keep forgetting about that, so I don't have to worry really about anything. And then what we'll do is we have 4 of them, so we'll go out 2 more. And then we'll just smack the solar panel right here, take the starter one, and another starter one, and go right there. And then the basic ones will go right here. And then we need to... how do we start it, actually? Energizing orb, energizing... How do we actually energize? I guess that's going to be down in... Okay. Go to Y level 1. Okay, gotcha. Anywho, we need power, which is which is energizing orb. Nearby energy rods within a 9x9 area around it. Attach energizing rods. If you want the orb to energize faster, you need to make more rods. Upgrade to higher rods. Both. Okay, cool. Set your wrench to link mod. So I need a wrench. How do I make a wrench from power? Do I have a wrench? I need dielectric. Okay. We're gonna make ourselves a little bit of a wrench. That's gonna put a little wrench in our plans, but that's fine. Wait, huh? Config. That's not configging. Okay, is that gonna start it? Nope. I'm assuming I just need one of each then. Yep, that makes sense. And then we go one of each. And we just need a couple energized steel, and then I need to get into mystical agriculture in a second so that we can get ourselves infinite of all these things. So I'm going to work on that in the future, probably off camera, because it's really tedious work, just making seeds overall. Anyway, now that we've got energized steel, what I can do is I can make ourselves the next tier of capacitor, which is the hardened capacitors. And then I need more energized steel, because, yeah, of course I do. Anyway, we get ourselves a little bit of energized steel. A little bit more energized steel, cool. A little bit more. We're going to get 16 energized steel, by the way, for this one. So we're going to need a little bit longer. Come on. There we go. And that is all the energized steel I need for right this second. And we're also going to grab ourselves our solar panel, as well as the 3 solar panels that are on top of here, charging you guys up. Because we should have the stuff that we need for that. Anyway, we're going to get ourselves the next tier of solar panels for these bad boys. So we should have everything we need for 2 hardened solar panels. Then one is going to go right on top of that guy. One is going to go right here. And then those guys are going to go there. We're going to turn that on. We're going to turn on compacting upgrade back on. And now what we're going to need to do is just do a bunch more stuff. So we need blazing crystals next, which means we need 120,000 and a bunch of blaze rods, which means I need to go back to the nether. But for that, we also need to get all the hardened stuff, so that means I'm going to need a bunch more hardened steel, which is what I'm going to use the rest of this gold for and iron for, which is going to take me just a little bit, so I'm probably just going to skip it and cut to after I finish turning all this stuff into hardened steel. Okay, and then the last one we'll take care of, and then we've got a bunch of energized steel that we can utilize. So now we should be able to go through all the different energized steel things. I do need to make a bunch of starter things and other stuff, but that's fine. But mainly the energizing rods, because these guys are not going to go as quick as we need for the further tiers. So I should upgrade them, because that's just the right thing to do. So we're going to craft up 2 more basic ones, and then we're going to need some more hardened capacitors. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. I guess I need more caps. We'll make ourselves some more basic capacitors, I guess. Wait, that's tiny capac. Why am I doing what? Huh? There we go. There we go. And then, yeah, we've got a bunch of stuff now. That was stupid of me. But now we need ourselves a couple more of the energized caps, which is the basic large caps. And so now we'll just go like this and go 1, 2, 3. And then we should be able to get all 4 of our energizing rods to hardened, which should be very, very much better for getting to the next level, which is blazing. And we also want to make ourselves a little bit of an energy cell so that we can do this the right way. More redstone, which isn't too big of a deal. That way we can get ourselves a little bit more of the basic caps. Need a little bit more iron, but that's not too big of a deal. Yeah, I need way more iron. Holy, okay. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna connect the... Actually, no, because the way that that stacks is not gonna work very well. 2, 3, 4. We're gonna get 4 of you guys. And the reason why I'm saying that is because purely... Just... It would not make sense to have most of the items come from the farm down into here, because it would just fill up our entire everything. And that would kind of suck. But what I can do is I can filter it and then send certain things down. But now that we have a hardened energy cell, I can shoot. That's not ideal. Okay, we can replace our basic energy cell with the hardened one, which will be overall much, much better, store much, much more energy, which is great. You'll love to see it. Now what we need to do is just simply go warp Nether Fortress 1, and fingers crossed we can find ourselves, good thing I have the right sword equipped, find ourselves a couple little bit of blazes, because I keep forgetting we can fly, but we need overall, we need blazes, which I should probably come over and grab one of the blaze spawners from you. I think there's a couple over here. Not 100% certain, but I know that there's a couple at this specific one that I could have grabbed that I didn't end up grabbing for no reason in particular. Also, it looks like I left my other thing back at the base, but that's okay. Because we can be patient. We can be patient and wait for more blazes to spawn, right? Yep, we're good with that, right? No, I'm not good with that. So we're going to /set warp blaze spawner and then /home. And then we're going to pickaxe, get ourselves our silk touch pick. I don't really need to be carrying this backpack anymore, I guess. So I'll just shove it away and then we can, I guess, put the pickup upgrade and the stack upgrades in here. Only 3 stack upgrades at a time. Cool, I'm gonna use the netherite ones because they're pretty sick. Anyway, we need ourselves a bunch more of those drops, so pickup upgrade should be on match backpack contents. Perfect. And then we will do /warp blaze spawner. And we should be able to just casually come over and grab ourselves that spawner, then go back home. Although I did see a blaze guy right over here, and there's another blaze on the way, which is perfect. And now we don't need any more because I got a loot pinata roll, which is, you know, one of my favorite things ever. And then we go home, and... that, you know, loot pinata, one of the most hilarious of all of the things. Also, we got, like, 4 of the boots, which was hilarious. 5 of the boots? Okay, apparently we cannot throw away boots, so that's cool. Can at least throw away you, thank God. Okay, we got blaze rods now. And now we need to get blazing stuff, so I don't know how long this is going to take, but I think I'm going to get 1 full stack of the blazing crystals, which is going to take us a little bit, so I will see you guys after, potentially. This is also going to probably cost me a lot of energy, so fingers crossed we'll be able to get through this. Either or. Yeah, I'm gonna just, you know what, we're close to getting enough, and I'm gonna get some sleep, because we're tired, and it's day 99 overall. So, let's do this, then we'll get ourselves a little bit more. Gotta wait a little bit for stuff to generate power, because solar panels are a little bit, they could be better. Anyway, we've got 8 now, which should be good enough, and then I need a bunch more of these guys, which is mostly lapis. I think I'm gonna add lapis to the backpack, as well as iron and gold And what mobs, do any mobs drop? I can't have the stack upgrades on right now. Do any mobs drop these guys in great quantities? Because it'd be kind of dope if they did. I also need ore. It's like I can get so many different cool ores from Boon of the Earth 4 that maybe it's worth just mining stone to see what things we can get. I'm gonna give it a try and see if we get any cool ores, and then I'll just farm stuff up at the top if not. But yeah, this is gonna take a little bit of time, so I will see you guys in a moment. Okay, so it turns out if you just sprint run mine in the mining dimension, you can get a bunch of really cool stuff, and it's kind of dope. So we've got, you know, a couple hundred lapis now and a bunch of other ores. All this stuff's gonna get chucked into our system because why not? But that was a lot more fruitful than I was ever imagining it possibly could be. And now we have a bunch of other ores that we can mine with a little bit of a higher fortune level, and by that I mean 15. And 15 fortune is a little bit absurd. So what I'm going to do is we're going to save up a little bit and just go all out in a future episode with mining all these stuff and then getting infinite ores from just casually utilizing a thing called mystical agriculture, which I'll do in a... I'm not going to do an episode on it because it's just very tedious stuff. But overall, that should be quite entertaining and good for us to have infinite renewable resources for pretty much everything. And I'm going to chuck all this stuff in here for now, because we are going to need quite a bit of stuff, actually. It's quite insane how much we're actually going to need. So I want to fully grab all this stuff to get all this out. I do have over 150,000 bones still, because bones just seem to never end. I don't know. Bones just seem to be one of those resources that I have infinite of. Also, I need to turn off the pickup upgrade when I'm shift-clicking stuff out, but, you know, makes sense, I guess. Anyway, let's take all you guys. That way that's taken care of. Then we can turn the pickup upgrade back on. And now what we can do is, ideally, make ourselves a bunch more of these photoelectric panes. And I'm going to need a bunch of glass, but thankfully glass... do I have any sand? I have 128 sand. I'm going to have to go to a desert and mine it entirely out, but that's not going to be too big of a deal, because essentially we have, you know, a pretty dope shovel that should help us out quite a bit. Not too worried about that, but I just want to make sure that we have enough resources to actually be able to craft up the really good solar panels in the future. I'm also going to need so much dielectric paste that we're going to craft up a couple stacks of blaze powder into that stuff, and then utilize that to just do that real quick. Get ourselves a little bit more glass, because holy, glass is, well, cheap. We still need an insane amount of it, so let's just do this real quick. Now we're out of lapis again, which means we can craft up all the starter solar panels we want, which is nice, and that means that now I can just quickly shove all this stuff in here. Thankfully, though, the stack upgrades will make it so we don't have to worry about a ton of stuff, which I'm very happy about. Anyway, let's make ourselves some more of the dielectric rods, which... again, seems like a bigger deal than it really is. I don't know. We're gonna need a bunch more iron. So, let's make ourselves a little bit of you guys. And then, what do we have for iron? We got a couple things of raw iron, one block of iron, and then some iron ore hammers, which is dope. Once we get auto crafting and stuff fixed and figured out, then I'll be able to get even more ore doubling automatically. But for now, this is gonna do just fine, trust me. And now we will craft up all the glass into glass panes again, because we need a ton more of those guys. Anywho, regardless of whether or not it makes a ton of sense. So now we'll also craft up a couple more dielectric casings. We'll also grab ourselves a little bit of the iron that's smelted, because, you know, iron smelts pretty slowly, you know, as you can definitely tell. Yeah, definitely makes a ton of sense now, and now we'll just craft up a bunch more of these starter solar panels. We're still running out of the actual dielectric casings, which are not too big of a deal, so we're just gonna craft up a couple more. Couple stacks of these guys. We're gonna craft up one stack of each of the horizontal and verticals so that we can craft up a couple more of these. It's not a really difficult thing to make, it's more just tedious, the fact that we keep running out of, you know, basic materials, which we won't in the future, so of course ran out of iron again. Gosh darn it. Well, at least now we can get ourselves these guys, we can get ourselves some more basic ones. Still need iron, so iron. Or I guess we're gonna have to mine ourselves some of our iron ore. You know, a little bit of a bummer, but it's fine. Let's see how much iron we get from these guys. I should probably turn it back to shapeless, because that could have been very, very bad if we had mined all of that like it was wanting to. But we got ourselves, you know, just a little bit more iron, which should be able to tie us over until we get to that point, you know. Happy about that, although a little bit sad that we cannot go absolutely crazy with it, so let's craft up a couple more of the caps, and then by that time we should have another stack of iron cooked. Perfect. And now we can make ourselves a couple more basic solar panels. I'm gonna need even more for caps, I guess, because apparently we're running out of caps quite quickly instead of everything else. So we're gonna make a half a stack of caps, and then should be able to get us a couple more of these guys. Perfect. And now we should be able to make ourselves some hardened boys with some of these guys. So 12 should be able to craft up all these guys into those. And then we utilizing the blazing crystals, which of course we need to sleep to make sure we're at day 100 now. Perfect. We get ourselves 16 of these blazing crystals, which should be perfect for this. Which I'm really happy about, to be perfectly honest. Really, really excited with how everything has been going for this mod pack, and I hope you guys are too, because it's been really fun, honestly. Probably one of the most fun mod packs I've ever played. Anyway, we're gonna make some blazing caps, and then we need ourselves our blazing solar panels. We got 1 total, which is actually not going to go to our storage system, because our storage system does not use enough power to need a blazing. We can use at max 2 of these, and this will always be able to generate more power than we could use in a day for our current storage system. Of course, when I expand and when we make it have infinite storage, it's not going to be that way, but overall right now it's fine. So anyway, we've got those guys, and the next tier is actually Niotic, which is Niotic crystals, which is just energized diamonds, which again seems rather cheap, to be perfectly honest, but, you know, not unhappy with it, because it's overall going to be quite easy to get and take care of. So we'll get you guys, and then the next tier is Spirited, which is, I believe, emeralds. Just, yeah, emeralds, but it costs 1,000,000 FE per thing, which we currently are generating 6k FE per tick with the 1 solar panel, which, you know, makes it a little bit challenging, but that's okay. And this is just how power works. It's pretty dope for energy generation and storage and everything, but overall, you know, there's better ways of doing this. And, you know, there's just a lot better ways of everything in this mod pack. But for now, it's actually, I think this is going to be the best way to generate power. It's just going to be passively through solar, although we are going to need to explore other avenues for getting some other challenges accomplished, so that is something that we have to worry about. But not really right now, because this is pretty much going to be the end of this episode. Don't fully know what else we could really explore right now. I am going to be working on going through and taking care of so many more things, We need to get our inert trident, which means I need another Heart of the Sea. But I'm also going to have to go through all of the mystical agriculture stuff, so that's going to be a thing. I'm going to do that off camera, though, because it's kind of boring. It's just the same thing over and over and over again. But to be fair, some of this episode has been the same, so, you know, it's not a big deal. Anyway, 30, 40, 60, 80, 70, perfect. 9, 20, 30, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, perfect, 100%. And then we'll make ourselves 1 niotic capacitor, 2 niotic capacitors. Then I think we want to get ourselves a niotic solar panel, but I'm going to need a lot more solar panels for that. And so for that, we're going to actually need to have to go to a desert, which thankfully there's one over by this temp waypoint, which is, you know, being 1,000 blocks away is not a big deal, just due to the way that I don't have to worry about anything ever. But, you know, distances, schmistances, I don't care. And now we're in the desert, so now what we're gonna do is we're just going to get all of the sand we could ever possibly need and not have to worry about a single thing. So let's do this. You know, this mines everything quite fast. Although we are out of hunger, which is the one limiting resource that we have for this, for infinite mining speed. And we should have near infinite food with the infinite ham and eternal steak. Although having multiple eternal steaks, the cooldown is the same between all of them, and it's the same with the infinite ham. So I do think having multiple of... Actually, I don't think it's the same with the infinite hams, because they're different. They have different stats. But overall, we will have to work through that. Anyway, now we can go back home and get ourselves a little bit more glass taken care of, and then we'll be able to do pretty much the same thing everywhere else that we need to get materials from. And by that I mean whether it be in the nether, whether it be literally anywhere else, genuinely anywhere else. Let's turn off pickup and then just chuck all this stuff out so that we have it at least in our system, because having an excess is not a problem. Anyway, that is going to be the end of this episode, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!